Welcome back to the JSFL. We're here, week 3 now, as we end week 2. And a pretty good week 2, I'd like to say. Some upsets, some wins that we expected, and some surprising wins, too. So, let's get into the week 2 recap. Thursday night football. The 1-0 New Orleans Musicians head to Houston to fight the 1-0 Enforcers. Enforcers going into the game had the best defense in the league. Musicians right behind them at 2. And it wasn't the best defensive game, but there were a lot of good plays out there. And New Orleans just made less mistakes, and they won in the end, going 2-0 and putting the Enforcers 1-1. Then, on Sunday, 1 p.m., the Bats headed to New York to fight the Musicians. The Bats headed to New York to fight the Businessmen. And the Businessmen won in pretty good fashion. Eugene Green, great game from that guy. And if he continues like that, I could see New York easily winning the East. Then at the other 1 p.m. game, the high-scoring affair of the Kansas City Wind heading to Atlanta to fight the Predators. The Predators hosting their first home game ever in history. And the Wind, on the final play at the 1-yard line, hold the fort down in Atlanta and run out of there with their lives while they still can. Put the Predators down in 0-2 and put the Kansas City Wind 2-0. 2 squeak-by games for the Kansas City Wind. We'll see if they can do that next week. I will say who they play in a little bit. Then you have at 4:15, the Phoenix Gila Monsters headed to LA to fight their division rival, LA Earthquake. The LA Earthquake barely missed out on the playoffs last year, but this year started off 2-0. They beat the Phoenix Gila Monsters. It was close to the fourth quarter, but then the Earthquake just charged at a win. And that was electric in the fourth quarter. Foster, he's looking like a pretty good QB. People had doubts about him in college with the picks and turnover thing, but he's shown he can do good at the next level. So the Earthquake go 2-0, and the former JSFL champions Phoenix Gila Monsters go 1-1, their first loss on the season. And then at the other 4:15, you had the Power. They are 0-1. They lost to LA last week. At the Minneapolis Fishers in Minneapolis. Minneapolis was favored to win here, as they beat Seattle last week. But Detroit showed they had the strength in them from last year and could be electrifying. And they did that. And they beat Minneapolis. Pretty good game. Next divisional matchup. But Detroit wins. And then Monday night, the hyped up natives coming into this year on their offense did not disappoint on Monday night, as they kind of disappointed week 1. And they decimated Cleveland. And on the defensive side, they were even better, or just as good, I would say. Kendall Hastings was shut down. Frank Jog, he did a decent game, but he didn't do what we saw on week 1 for sure. And Cleveland's defense, I don't think is going to be that good this year. They're probably going to finish last the way they're heading right now. It has not been a good defense for these Pirates team. So, let's see how they do continuing this season. And then, that was the recap. Let's go into the power rankings as we talk about that. 12th place is the Charlotte Bats 0-2. Edward Phillips, not disappointing. He didn't start in college. Last time he started was high school, but Charlotte needed a new QB as they were done with Jamerson. Thought this would be the key for them coming into the season, but they're going to start off 0-2. And right now, they're in relocation status at 0-2 and last place in the league. Joey Adams, he's over 100 yards, so he's doing okay, but not how we expected him to do this season. Then, 11th, Cleveland Pirates. We talked about them. Hastings might not be the answer. He's better at the deep ball than anything. He's probably more accurate on a deep ball than a short pass. But with the rookies they have, I don't see this team being good now, but maybe 2-3 years down the road, this team could build to be something good. And then they need a secondary because their secondary is burnt toast. Third place, the final 0-2 team, Atlanta Predators. They almost beat the Kansas City Wind. That's why they're this high up. Hudson looked a lot better in this game. 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Good yards. He hooked up with Ron Foyle 10 times that game. And so those two might be a great connection, as he's young and their receiver core is lacking. I would definitely, if I was Atlanta, I would definitely target offense next year, wide receivers especially, and offensive line. They probably have one of the worst offensive lines in the league. So yeah, but the defense great for Atlanta. They did pretty good, even though fighting one of the best offenses in the league. Now number 9, the worst 1-1 team. I'm gonna say is New York, the Businessmen. I'm gonna put them at number 9. So the Businessmen, they beat Charlotte Pats, and they didn't beat them greatly, but they beat them by a decent margin. But don't remember, in week 1 they got decimated by the New Orleans Musicians. So I don't know. And the other teams below them, I just think, are better at the moment. So New York might surprise me, and we'll see. But for now, I'm gonna put them at number 9. Number 8, Phoenix. Monsters, the former JSFL championships, placed at number 8. They beat Atlanta in the first week, and it was by a lot, but they didn't even look that great in this game. Ryan Tepps is kind of having a second-year slump. He's definitely not doing as good as he was in year 1. Look at his stats. He is currently 25 for 41, 242 yards, the worst in the league. He's worst in the league in yardage. 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Tepps not the starts of the year he wanted. Plenty of time cleared up. You got 10 weeks. See how he handles the rest of the season. Then number 7, Houston Enforcers. Tough loss at home on Thursday night when everyone's watching. But I'm not going to beat on them too hard. They did pretty well. And they fought the Charlotte Bats again in week 1. So again, that's why they're not that high. But I think they have definitely potential. So yeah. Number 6, I'm gonna put the Seattle Natives. They decimated the Cleveland Pirates. Again, they're this area because the teams above them, I think, played better opponents. The Pirates aren't that good in my opinion. So, but they did look very good. And he lost against the Fishers in week 1, so I don't know what to think of the Natives right now. 5th place. In 5th, I'm gonna put the Minneapolis Fishers. They beat the Natives, that's why they're higher than them. But they lost to the Power, that's why they're lower than the Power. And Tony Dickerson, he's looking good. Better than he was looking in college, but he has more weapons around him now. Had the worst receiver core in college. Worst running back. He had the worst offense in college. So I'm excited to see what he can do with this Fishers team. They have high power. They just need a quarterback. Scotty Hooper was inconsistent. Yeah. Minneapolis and their defense is pretty solid most of the time. So yeah, I think Minneapolis could be a playoff team. We'll see what they do. 4th place, the best 1-1 team in my opinion, the Detroit Power. They beat the Fishers, who beat the Natives, but they did have that loss at LA Earthquake. But it was really, really close, so I definitely do think this Detroit Power team could be a playoff team. The LA Earthquake has got to be one of the best teams. I think they're going to be one of the best teams this season, unless they choke like they did last season at the end of the season, not to make the playoffs. But Detroit, they look powerful. I don't know, but yeah. Now let's go into the 2-0 teams. We have 3 of them. Number 3, the worst 2-0 team in my opinion, is Kansas City Wind. They barely beat the Cleveland Pirates in overtime with the pick 6 by Ricky Goldens. Good job, rookie. And also, then they squeaked by the 1-yard line in Atlanta. So I'm not ready to say this is a good team yet. They beat 2 not that great teams, both 0-2, and they're slipping by. So, I mean, Kansas City, I would put them if I had to, if I didn't have to go off rankings. I'd probably put them between Seattle and Houston. I don't know. I'm not high on the Kansas City Wind this year. I think they're kind of frauds. Then, number 2, New Orleans Musicians. It was a toss-up between LA and New Orleans, but I'm going to put New Orleans here. They fought the best defense on Thursday night, and all the pressure on the Subs guys, but he pulled through. And, yeah, just did amazing things. Played how Subs guys does. Owen Castle's not the definite year. He hasn't been the best running back in the league yet so far, but he's been holding through. He's been getting around 70 yards a game, and that's definitely okay when you have a guy like such guys slinging the ball to Jesse Flowers, Landon Dante, the rookie, Carl Graves. He's having a great season too. But it sucks that Gonzalez, he got injured for them, so Carlton Fernandez is going to have to step up, or someone's going to have to step up, maybe Warren Bishop, the rookie, the tight end. But yeah, they did fine without him on Thursday. And first, it's got to be LA. I mean, they beat the former JSFL championships, even though they didn't look the best against Atlanta. But the Gila Monsters had the best pass defense going into that. Foster, the rookie, showed that he has potential in this league. And then they beat Detroit on week 1 in a great game. So they've got 2 high-tier opponents. So I just got to put them at the spot here. New Orleans, maybe what held me back is they did decimate the businessmen. But it's the so it kind of goes off opponents and how they did. So I just have to go with LA here. And then we go into the playoff picture. Relocation status: Charlotte Bats 0-2. In the hunt at the second slot, Houston Enforcers 1-1. Seattle Natives 1-1. 6th seed, Minneapolis Fishers 1-1. 5th seed, Kansas City Wind 2-0. 4th seed, New York Businessmen 1-1. 3rd seed, Detroit Power 1-1. 2nd seed, New Orleans Musicians 2-0. And 1st seed, LA Earthquake 2-0. Then let's go to the MVP race. It's a pretty nice one right now. Number 10, you got Frank Jog from the Cleveland Pirates. Number 9, about the same, Taylor Little from the Detroit Power. Number 8, the defensive end threats with 7 sacks already on the season, Roland Lemus of the LA Earthquake. Number 7 is the rookie sensation. He's been slipping by so far, his high stats. Kyle Shooter, taken in the 5th round. And he's the best. He's in the lead for Rookie of the Year right now in the MVP race. So, Kansas City Wind. Number 6, Ronaldo Hoskins, Minneapolis Fishers. He's been lining up the scoreboard a little bit for that Minneapolis team, helping them get along. 5th, Eugene Green from the New York Businessmen. That is all thanks to his hat-trick touchdown game on Sunday at 1 p.m. And then 4th, Kurt Hammond, the tight end, in the MVP race at 4th. He leads every tight end wide receiver category, and he's just been doing great. He probably won't stay there, but Kurt Hammond, you have my just good job for tight end at least being in the MVP race. 3rd, Willie Rogers from the Kansas City Wind. He drops 2 spots, but he is doing great. Didn't do the best against Atlanta, but he had a pretty good game. 2nd, Kermit Poe, Seattle Natives. 3 rushing touchdowns on Monday night. He only had 1 with his arm to the passing touchdown, but he had 3 with his legs. He didn't have a single rushing touchdown last year. And he could definitely win most best scrambling quarterback this year. But he's going to have to fight some new guys. Trent Hudson could definitely be there. Sean Richardson, Henry Burnett even. But Kermit Poe, definitely in the leader right now. And then first, no argumenting, Ross Williams, LA Earthquake. He's just been electric on the floor. 237 yards against the Gila Monsters with a really good linebacking core. That's Tony Amigo, the veteran X Factor, Jordan Jackson, and who's on the side? I think it's DeAndre Ballard for sure. Maybe. But I think it's not DeAndre Ballard. He's on Charlotte. Let me look real quick. The rookie Julio Odom from South. And so yeah, just looking really great. And then that was good run team. And then who they play week 1? Detroit with a really good linebacking core in front 7. You had David Medina, last year's defensive player of the year, Nicholas Stone, and the guy who had the most tackles for loss in the league last year, William Torres. So Ross Williams, just hats off to you, my guy. May you thrive. And then let's go to quarterback or everything tops. Do that. Okay. Completions. Seth Skies leads with 52. Attempts. Kendall Hastings with 70. Yards. Kyle Shooter with 694. Touchdowns. Kyle Shooter and Terry Foster with 5, so both rookies. And interceptions, there is 3 of them at 3. So we don't name. If there's only, it has to be 2 at max. Halfback tops. Attempts, Ross Williams with 50. He's been the workhorse, getting 25 attempts per game. Yards, Ross Williams with 351. Touchdowns, Eugene Green and Willie Rogers at 3. Broken tackles, Ross Williams at 16. That's 8 broken tackles per game for Williams. And then wide receiver tight end tops, as I just told you, only one guy holds all these. So Kurt Hammond with receptions at 17. Kurt Hamilton with yards at 276. And Kurt Hamilton with touchdowns with 3. So see if you can hold these through to week 3. Or to week 4, I should say. Defensive tops. Wesley Francis from the Kansas City Wind at 15. Gary Riley from the Cleveland Pirates with 14. Sacks for loss, Marcus Bender from the Houston Enforcers with 5. Sacks, Roland Lemus from the LA Earthquake with 7. Turnovers, Claude Copeland, the corner from LA Earthquake, and Jared Aguilar, the linebacker from Minneapolis Fishers. They're both at 2. Copeland had 2 interceptions last week on Teps, and Aguilar's got he's got 1 pick each week, so he's been consistent. And then let's look at offenses. 12th, let's go 12 to 1. 12th offense, Bats. 11th offense, let's go 11. Businessmen. 10th, Enforcers. 9, Gila Monsters. 8, Fishers. 7, Predators. 6, Power. 5th, Pirates. 4th, Musicians. 3rd, Natives. 2nd, Earthquake. 1st, Wind. So, yeah, that's about right. Rush yards. 12th, Bats. 11th, Predators. 10th, Musicians. 9th, Enforcers. 8th, Pirates. 7th, Businessmen. 6th, Fishers. 5th, Power. 4th, Wind. 3rd, Gila Monsters. 2nd, Natives. And 1st, Earthquake. And then, my bad. And the offenses passing through the air. Worst, Businessmen. 11th, Gila Monsters. 10th, Enforcers. 9th, Fishers. 8th, Bats. 7th, Power. 6th, Pirates. 5th, Predators. 4th, Natives. 3rd, Musicians. 2nd, Earthquake. 1st, Wind. So that's how offensively teams are. Let's look at defense. The worst defense in the league is the Pirates. Then 11th is the Wind. Following 10th is the Predators. 9th, the Gila Monsters. 8th, the Fishers. 7th, the Businessmen. 6th, the Power. 5th, the Bats. 4th, the Enforcers. 3rd, the Natives. 2nd, the Earthquake. 1st, the Musicians. Let's look at rushing defenses. Worst in the league, Pirates. 11th, Gila Monsters. 10th, Bats. 9th, Predators. 8th, Wind. 7th, Fishers. 6th, Earthquake. 5th, Power. 4th, Natives. 3rd, Businessmen. 2nd, Musicians. And 1st is Enforcers. They still keep defensively the best rushing back. Not the best pass, though. Let's look at passing defenses. Worst in the league is the Wind. 11th, the Pirates. 10th, the Predators. 9th, the Businessmen. 8th, the Fishers. 7th, the Power. 6th, the Enforcers. 5th, the Gila Monsters. 4th, the Bats. 3rd, the Natives. 2nd, the Earthquake. And 1st, the Musicians. A little comment I want to add is I'm really surprised in how the Natives have played defensively this year. Not in front 7, but mostly in the secondary. I mean, the guys, they had 2 rookie corners start this season. Trevor Wedden and Kendall Carls, I believe. Look. I believe it is Kendall Carls, but I could be wrong, and I don't want to be wrong. Yeah, it is Kendall Carls. And those 2 have, they've been really good against defenses. This might be from help with free safety Sheldon Lee. He's also really young, so there's a really young secondary. And Bruce Goodman, the vet who kind of keeps together that secondary. But this team is super good at secondary, the 3rd best. And the only people that are better than them are the Earthquake and the Musicians with top-tier corners and great safeties. It's just wowing to me. And they're better than secondaries like the Bats, who had 2 shutdown corners. The Gila Monsters, who had defensive back of the year last year, Byron Baxter. It's just, and they have Dexter Sex too. Like, I don't know. And they also had Carlos Young. Like, just great. I got to give it another hand to the Natives secondary. Just good job by those 2 corners, and if the safeties are helping them, good job. So then we're gonna take a look at these rookies, and I'm gonna go look at the rookie sheet, and I want to see how surprising rookies from each round, or kind of like that. Trying to find the sheet, my bad. Hold on, okay. So here, we already know Kyle Shooter is in the lead for Rookie of the Year, 5th round pick. He was picked 52nd overall in the draft. Right before him was taken Austin Myers from New York, and right after him was taken Kane Joyce for Houston as a guard. So that's where he kind of sat. So it's a little surprising to see him do so well. I mean, I wasn't high up on him. He was the last quarterback available in the draft, and Kansas City traded with Minneapolis. He would have started as a backup behind Cody Jackerson. And then they traded away to the 3rd rounder and their 7th next year for this guy, and he's doing really great. So I want to talk about the first round. Who is my favorite? Who do I think is doing the best from the first round and the worst after 2 weeks? Plenty of times still changed my mind, but after 2 weeks. The best I would have to say has to be hands down Terry Foster. He's found great connections. He knows how to deliver the ball to pretty much anyone. He's been wowing, and 5 touchdowns already in week 2. 2 wins. He's leading the team to great wins, and he's just a clutch guy so far. And then, worst, I gotta say, if this was after week 1, I definitely would have went with Trent Hudson, but Kendall Hastings, taken 2nd overall, and Cleveland thought he would do good on the deep ball. That's why they drafted 2 quick receivers, Amari Talon in the 2nd round, and then Josh Bowden in the 5th round. I don't know why they didn't go with Austin Myers, but I think they liked Bowden for slot because they already had their deep route guy and Amari Talon with his height. So, but yeah, and he's just not been delivering for them. I mean, plenty of time, but he needs to step it up because they could have went. I mean, I get why they went with him because they should. If they knew what was happening now, I bet they would have probably went with Terry Foster for his clutch ability and he's actually able to throw deep. But Terry Foster had a lot of problems in college, so I get why they didn't go with him. But Kendall Hastings, he needs to step it up. Everyone else doing pretty good. And let me just go with my favorite guy from each round now, quick. I won't give explanations, but I'll just say like a sentence. 2nd round, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say Caden Hollister. He's been able to step it up as a good linebacker for LA as that linebacking core starters, all consist of rookies, and he's been a good guy to get the team hyped. 3rd round, this round I was drafted in. But not gonna go with me. It'd have to be Ricky Goldens. Yeah, Ricky Goldens. I didn't even see him, but he got that win in week 1 single-handedly, but that pick 6, which looked like Cleveland was gonna come away with it. But great job by Ricky Goldens. And he's definitely in the race for Defensive Player of the Year right now. So he's been great. 4th round, Trevor Wetton. As we talked about that Seattle secondary, he's been that top corner, shutting down guys like I'm not sure, pretty good against guys. Mario Bowen from the Cleveland Pirates, and then who else did he face week 1? He didn't do as good against this guy, but Wilbur Lamb, he did pretty well against Wilbur Lamb. So those 2 guys, extremely good, and he's been playing against them. Don't know how he felt in 4th round, but yeah. 5th round, Kyle Shooter, obviously, the offensive rookie of the year right now, and he's been doing great things for Kansas City. And good job getting him, Kansas City. Good job. Think you found your guy. And he's pretty calm in the pocket too, I'd like to say. 6th round. I don't think I'm gonna go with Kendall Carls, but I'm gonna say Kendall Carls for now, yeah, because he's part of that Seattle secondary. Same thing, he's been doing good against guys like Amari Talent and Carlton Sanchez, who's extremely versatile. And then the final round, these guys haven't played as much, but I'm definitely gonna have to go with They're gonna have to be Rodney Dentley from the Charlotte Bats. He's definitely been better than their old safety, Sean East. Again, they're 0-2, but he's prevented some big plays from happening, and he's pretty good against the run. So he's been that safety Charlotte wants, and that's why they have one of the better offenses in the league there. I mean, defenses in the league. Their offense hasn't been great with Edward Phillips at all, but their defense has been really good. It's the 5th best defense in the league, so top half. Not the best, but it's definitely a better defense than some. So, yeah. Now, let's look at Week 3 for our final thing before we head off. Week 3, Thursday Night Football. The Kansas City win, 2-0, go to the 1-1 New York Bisman. We'll see how that goes. Give me 2 teams trying to prove themselves. Again, this is a lesser opponent on the board. Not that you couldn't be one, but Henry Gurnett has not been playing good. Give me Kansas City in another close one. Then 1 o'clock, Pirates at Predators. I'm a Predators guy, and the Pirates don't play well. And we almost get the Kansas City win, so give me the Predators. Another one, Power at Musicians. This rivalry is pretty much as good as a divisional one. Musicians are 2-0 in this rivalry. Power, looking good. Musicians, it's at New Orleans. New Orleans isn't known for playing good at home. Give me Detroit with their first win against this one, against New Orleans. Then 4:15, Enforcers at Gila Monsters. This was a big matchup last year as we got closer to playoffs. It was for playoff positioning. Enforcers lost. They put them out of the playoffs. They're looking for a revenge here. Gila Monsters looked sluggish last week, and they're playing another good defense. Give me Houston. And in this one, they're going to go to 2-1. Gila Monsters might be in a championship slump here. Another 4:15 one. LA Earthquake 2-0, going to the 1-1 Natives. Great divisional matchup here. Gonna be a good one. Gonna be close. But I think the rookie makes his first mistake here. Now just Kermit Poe in a shootout. Might be a little high scoring. Might be defensively. Depends which side of the wall wants to go up. Give me Seattle. And then Monday night, Bats at Fishers. Dackerson against Phillips. And I'm going to say the Fishers get it done at home. They did lose at home last week to the Power, but I think the Fishers are a better opponent than the Bats. But that's it from Jason Bell, and I'll see you guys on Thursday night when the Kansas City win head to New York.